Bennington has died at the age of 41. Now, the coroner has said that Bennington apparently hanged himself. The singer's body was found at a private residence in Los Angeles. The band recently released their 7th album. That's 17 years after their hugely popular album Hybrid Theory in 2000, a record-breaking album. With me is Steve Holden, music reporter for Radio 1's Newsbeat. Thanks very much for being with us, Steve. So some really shocking news, isn't it? Tell us about him and the band.
Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park. If you grew up in the early 2000s, or that's when you went to university, there's a whole generation who grew up on their debut album, Hybrid Theory. It is still the biggest selling debut album of the 21st century. It sold 30 million copies worldwide. And what Linkin Park did was they fused these metal and hard rock sounds along with rap and hip hop to create this brand called nu metal. And they were one of the big pioneers, the most successful band that fused those two together. And ever since then, they've gone on to sell 60 million records around the world. They've been working ever since. For so many people, they are a proper band of their growing up, their teens, of their early 20s.
And I think you met him, Chester Bennington, actually just a few weeks ago, didn't you? You interviewed him.
Yeah, like you said, they released their album One More Light a couple of months ago, and he came in to do some promotion for it, along with his bandmate Mike. And we sat down for 20 minutes. He's a very honest and open man. He's spoken all about his past troubles, and he's had drug and alcohol problems in the past, but he said he was in a really good place. He was warm, he's articulate, he's funny, he's a proper icon. He's straight into acting as well, but obviously music was his front-running thing. The band's recent album, they diversified, they'd gone a bit more pop. They'd worked with the UK grime artist Stormzy as well. A really lovely bloke.
And the news is apparently from the coroner that he appears to have hanged himself. Is there any idea why, and any theory as to why?
Not as yet, and I wouldn't want to speculate, but he was very close to Chris Cornell, who was the lead singer of Soundgarden, who tragically died a couple of months ago. And recently, Chester wrote an open letter on his website saying, "To Chris, you've inspired me in many ways you could never have known. Your talent was pure and unrivaled. Your voice was joy and pain, anger and forgiveness, love and heartache, all wrapped up into one." And today would have actually been Chris Cornell's birthday.
Incredibly sad. Steve, thanks very much for being with us. Steve Holden there, music reporter for Radio 1 Newsbeat. Now, the time is 25 minutes past 8. Sir Vince Cable is the new leader of the Liberal Democrat Party. The former business secretary was elected to the job after no one else decided to run against him. Well, the 74-year-old's replaced the former leader Tim Farron, who stood down after the